Hi, I'm Old Sneelock. Welcome to another episode of Old Sneelock's Workshop.
Well, the plan is to take some of this fence post and make brackets out of it. That'll hold the 4x4s in place anchored to the fence post. I'm thinking I want to put one of these on the top and one on the bottom of the 4x4. Just kind of clamp it in there. Then put 2 bolts down through the top of it. That'll keep it from sliding side to side. Of course, it's captured between fence posts on either side of the 4x4, so it's not likely to slide. But that way, I'll have her clamped right in. If you watch the sparks as they're coming off the cutoff wheel, they get out to the end and they flare out into a spark. That's the carbon burning out of the steel. The higher the carbon, the more spikes there are, and the brighter the spark. Now these fence posts are not high carbon steel, but they're higher carbon than mild steel, so you'll see a forked spark out at the end of it where it goes out and it kind of explodes. You may have noticed that the cutoff machine was slowing down. Now when it hit that center section, I'm cutting down through it like this. When it hits that center section, it's actually cutting about 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch wide strip of steel, which takes a lot more effort than cutting through this 1/8 inch material, which is what it's cutting through it on the first start. So it takes a little bit of work. This fence post driver beats a sledgehammer all to pieces. It doesn't destroy the top of the fence post like a mishit with a sledgehammer does. And also, there's no chance of missing. You just throw this down that pipe and bang. About 12 pounds of hammer hits the top of this thing. It goes pretty quick. This was the last fence post that I had to drive in, and I've already practiced cutting some off short over here, so I'll show you how I did it. I've got a 7-inch Type 1 cutting disc on this Hitachi. Goes through these fence posts like a knife through hot butter. That's the advantage that a 7-inch grinder has over a 4.5 diameter, depth of cut. If I had tried to cut these with a 4-inch, I'd have had to walk around the outside of it because I could have only cut in halfway from either side. That 7-inch didn't even slow down. And it's down to about 6.5 now because as it cut it wore away. Still had enough to get that last post. The wheel on the Hitachi is only about 1/16 of an inch thick. The wheel on the cutoff saw is about twice this thick. So it takes a lot more horsepower to put that big 1/8 inch thick cutoff blade through a piece of steel. But still, this Hitachi is a beast. Heavy as the dickens, but you saw how I used the guard as a rest and a height gauge so that I could go in and cut all the posts off. That left me enough posts sticking up above the 4x4 that I can get a good weld on it. This Hitachi is a beast. Nice machine. Each one of these fence posts is driven in about 1.5 feet. Now, could have possibly went deeper, but I didn't see any point to it. That should anchor this down quite well. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fence posts on either side, and I've got 3 in the back. That should hold it down. It's only about 85 degrees out here today. There's a nice breeze, but still plenty hot work. The fence posts are driven. I've got them all cut off and cut up into chunks. Now I have to weld pieces onto them. But before I weld those pieces on, I got to drill holes in the pieces so that I can run bolts down into that 4x4. I want to lock that 4x4 securely in place. If the tent comes out of the ground this time, it's going to be a struggle.
If you have any suggestions for a new video, questions about today's video, or any of the other videos on the channel, just drop a note in the comments. You know I read them all. Thanks for watching.